Michigan Out of Doors Online is brought to you in part by Red Wing Shoes, located in the shops at Centerpoint in Grand Rapids at the corner of 28th Street and the Beltline. The store has everything you need for the worksite or the woods. Stop in or check them out online at redwingshoes.com. And by Mr. Muskie Charters, offering full-service guided fishing trips for walleye, muskie, bass, and sturgeon on Lake St. Clair and the Detroit and St. Clair rivers. Booking information is online at mrmuskiecharters.com. Everybody, welcome to Michigan Out of Doors. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We've got a really cool show this week, lots of brand new stuff. We're going to start by doing something pretty unique. We're going to sit down with two brothers, actually twin brothers. They don't trap turtles, but they dive in the water and chase snapping turtles by hand. You won't want to miss that. Some great underwater footage. Now, we did visit with them 2 years ago. Well, we're back now to see what they've been up to. We're also going to sit down with the DNR on this week's show and talk chronic wasting disease, kind of what that's going to do here in the state of Michigan when it comes to deer management for this upcoming season, and how it will really affect pretty much all Michigan deer hunters in some way, shape, or form. Lots of good stuff on this week's show. You stay tuned. I'm Jimmy Gretzinger. It's time for Michigan Out of Doors.
From the first spring rains to the soft summer breeze, dancing on the pine forest floor, the autumn colors catch your eyes. Here come the crystal winter skies. It's Michigan out of doors.
What a beautiful day in the woods.
Someday our children all will see this is their finest legacy, the wonder and the love of Michigan. As the wind comes whispering through the trees, the sweet smell of nature's in the air. From the Great Lakes to the quiet stream, shining like a sportsman's dream, it's a love of Michigan we all share.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Country Smokehouse, a sportsman's meat processor and Michigan destination since 1988. Offers a variety of homemade smoked meats and Michigan-made products in-store and online. The Country Smokehouse features an outdoor barbecue and bar. Details at countrysmokehouse.com. By G5 Outdoors, makers of the Quest and Prime bows, manufactured and designed in Memphis, Michigan. G5 offers a line of archery bows, broadheads, and accessories. On the web at g5outdoors.com. By Hemisphere Design Works, a Muskegon manufacturer of sportsman's outdoor products for over 30 years, featuring the Terrain line of hard-sided hunting blinds designed for quick setup and removal with quiet operation. For more information and other products, hemispheredesignworks.com.
Soaking in the rich tradition of Michigan hunting for over 30 years, Vanguard is proud to sponsor our friends at Michigan Out of Doors TV.
I bet you I was like maybe 10 years ago.
About 10 years, yep.
We kind of, I mean, just like any little boy, just catching turtles, snakes, frogs. And one summer when we were staying up at this lake, our cousin from Colorado and our other cousin from around here decided to ask us, you guys want to go turtling with us on, the boat? And we're like, okay,
Yeah.
let's see what they mean by turtling. So they took us out and kind of went around the lake, jumped at a couple turtles, and finally we spotted a snapping turtle, and one of our crazy cousin from Colorado jumped in and wrangled that thing in the shallows, and
Yeah, from then on we were hooked.
We hadn't been in the boat 5 minutes, and the boys already had found the first turtle of the day.
Is that him right there?
Yep.
Holy cow.
You ready?
Yep.
Here we go. Get him? We got him.
Dude,
He's a good one.
Nice.
Well, that was quick.
holy cow.
That's a good turtle, guys.
That's as big as they're going to get, isn't it?
Pretty close.
Cow.
Man, that's around 30 pounds.
Yeah, I bet. Look at that guy.
So tell me what happened there.
All right, well, we started off where we thought there were gonna be some turtles, and didn't really expect to see them this early right over here, but kind of just riding that drop off, keeping an eye on the shallows. This guy was just chilling on the bottom.
Wow.
Yeah, I just had to dive in and grab him. That's about all there is to it.
Now, when you dive in, does he take off or does he
Oh,
just...
he took off.
Okay.
He saw me and he was just hauling as fast as he could, but grabbed him and the rest is history. Here he is.
Now he's a TV star.
You bet.
Yeah, I don't think we've caught him before.
No, I don't remember this guy.
Even though I had taped a story with these guys 2 years ago, I still have had a hard time explaining just exactly what these guys can do.
Just kind of give us an idea how, much they weigh and measure up to, so that when we catch them again, we know kind of what they're going to be.
Okay.
But yeah, see what this guy is here. He's really chill out here in the water. Don't need to fight him around in the boat. Looks like a 15-inch shell.
15 inch?
Yep. Yep, 15. What a tank, man. All right, got the net.
Now, it is actually turtle season, and some folks do eat turtle, and it gets pretty good reviews. But for these guys, it's strictly about catch and release. They have this down to a science.
All right, well, first thing first, when you're going after a turtle, most of the time, their tail is hanging out like this, and you'll usually just want to grab the tail. But the thing you want to do next is grab them right under the shell and the plastron right here. It's like a good old handhold. You can control a turtle really good that way. But if you just grab by the tail, they like to flip you in, pull their tail towards their shell so they can reach around and try to bite you. And it's just a pain when you're swimming up to the boat to kind of control them. Then you can't really see them. They're just trying to bite you the whole time. But you get a handhold right on there. They can't bite you and you can control them. So you can keep their jaws as far away from you as possible. But
Yeah, have you lost any fingers or anything doing this?
Still got my 10 fingers yet.
Attaboy.
Yeah. But it's all about being able to control them, because you got them by their tail or anything like that, they can just kind of move your arm towards them and try to get their jaws on you.
So you try to come up even when you're swimming up? You have your both
usually
hands
when
on
I
it?
grab them right away, I'll quick grab them under.
Okay.
Unless the circumstances don't let me, but for the most part, I will try to grab that bottom of the shell so that they don't get a chance to bite me.
When approaching this lake or any of the other lakes they have tried, I ask the guys just what they're looking for as they try and find a spot to start.
Basically, yeah, first thing is we kind of want to be right on that drop off, just so that you can kind of see in the deep if one comes up or not, and you can kind of see the shells if you see one or bubbles. But basically, you're looking for a big ring of bubbles from them just burrowing in those weeds or like a trail, or just seeing them on the bottom or just surfacing, and then we just get right on them. Yep.
Guess who it is?
I think it's pike.
Is that pike? No way. Nice.
Another big turtle.
Dude, that thing is huge.
Yeah, if it's pike, he's the biggest in the whole lake so far.
Yep.
So
See,
is that 35
got that little nick in
pounder.
his shell right there. That's how we know it's him. I recognized him when he was on the bottom, but he didn't look as big as I thought. So I wasn't sure. But yeah,
Sweet.
we caught him in this area, I think like 2 or 3 weeks ago. So,
Is that the big one that we caught the last time I was here, or is that a
No,
different
this is
one?
a different one. But yeah, this guy was 35 pounds last year.
yep. I think he was around 32 this year, I think. We can quick double check, but gorgeous.
Wow. So he just kind of hung out there, like he was. They're just kind of
Yeah, he just,
Stationary until you get in the water then, eh?
yeah, well, yeah, we were going along the drop off and Johnny saw this guy surfacing, getting air, and he went down. We kind of searched the area, we couldn't find him. Kind of did like 2 or 3 circles around there. Johnny ended up spotting his tail and half his shell sticking out of the weeds. So he must have just quick tried to burrow in and did the old "you can't see me." And yeah, I feel like they think that if they can't see us, we can't see them.
Okay.
So, but yeah, he didn't hide himself near as much as he could have. So that gave us the opportunity to see him. And that's what we're kind of looking for too in these shallows. Is sometimes you won't see them getting air, or they won't be making bubbles for us to follow, but you'll be able to see them on the bottom, burrowed in. And if they're not hidden well enough, that's when we'll see them.
I have to say that when we did our first story with the Caminga boys, we had quite the response from viewers. So when they called me back up to try it again this year, well, I had to say yes, because watching them do this, well, it's pretty amazing.
Oh, it's a big one. It's a big one. Oh man.
How are we doing this?
This might be Methuselah.
Dude, it's him! Yeah! No way! This is like
Whoa.
the best turtle day of my life right here, dude.
Dude, we haven't caught this turtle for like a year or 2.
I think that's him, right?
Dude. Man,
Yeah.
these things are huge.
Yeah, we haven't caught this turtle for 2 years.
Really?
Uh-huh.
This is the one we caught.
This was the one we caught first show. We
Really?
took, yeah. Yep, this is the big guy. But way we can tell, I mean, we'll quick double check and measure him, but if you look at his eyes, they almost look a little sunken in his
Okay.
head. Kind of see that somewhat.
Uh-huh.
But that, and usually he has I think he had a 16-inch shell.
Yeah.
But that's how we tell this guy from anybody else.
Could you see him pretty good when you went in? 'Cause we
No,
weren't
I didn't
sure.
see him. I kind of just felt around on the bottom where I saw the bubbles coming up, and
Really?
all of a sudden I felt tail. And for like a little like split second, I was like, "Is this a snake? Like what the world?"
Oh,
and then I saw
gosh.
him hauling. I was like, "Oh, that's a big old snapper."
Well, we saw him pop up. He hauled down. I thought it was like a muskrat because he went down so fast. I've never seen a snake
I know.
go down that fast.
These guys are on Facebook and Instagram if you want to follow them and see what they're up to on a more regular basis, or maybe you're just crazy enough like them to try and learn how to do this.
But yeah, look at those claws.
Yeah, Methuselah has some huge claws.
God, how long do you think those are? Like inch and a half?
They're so thick too. Like bear claws.
I know.
They do. The bear look like bear claws.
Savor this moment. Oh man, I love it.
Yeah, it's just the whole chase. It's kind of like, yeah, hunting. It's a whole different thing. Kind of fills up your year because you got deer season, duck season, turkey season, all fall and spring. And then there's nothing during the summer except maybe fishing. This kind of takes up our whole summer doing this turtle and stuff. So,
And it is kind of like hunting, isn't
yeah,
it?
It is.
Exactly.
Chasing them snappers.
You bet.
Get him, Dave.
That was a big one.
That was a pretty good one.
Oh, he's got him. Yeah! Another.
Holy cow. I thought we were done for the day.
I thought so too.
Yet again, another example of just how much variety we have here in Michigan's Out of Doors. Well, we are here today with Chad Stewart, big game specialist, deer biologist here with the DNR. And we're going to talk CWD. I know this is not a great topic that we get to talk about today, but it's kind of in the news. And let's just start off with, Chad, for this upcoming year, as we see CWD spreading a little bit here in the state of Michigan, or the zones or whatever, what does the average sportsman need to know about? How's that going to impact him this year for deer season?
Yeah, well, I think the biggest thing is, after last hunting season, the dialogue and the discussion around CWD changed quite a bit, because we found a lot more CWD, specifically in the southwest part of our state. Places like Montcalm County, Kent County, even in Ionia. It's more widespread than what we realized. So going into this year, we created some regulations to help us better identify what the overall distribution of the disease is, what the spread would potentially look like.
Okay.
So we're really interested in getting a better handle of where the disease exists and where the disease might not exist. And we sort of crafted some regulations to ensure hunters might be a little bit more successful during the year, and help us get some samples for our surveillance, so then we can have a better understanding, so we can manage the disease moving forward.
And what does that mean? So whether it's in the core zone or the outside of the core area, are you just trying to kill every deer that's there, or what's kind of the goal?
Yeah, so really the goal right now is to just ensure that hunters are going to be successful and try to communicate that. So if you're hunting in a CWD zone or a core zone, we're not asking them to kill more deer necessarily. Certainly that's not a bad thing if they want to do that. What we're really hoping for is for them to be successful. So if they're buying a tag, we assume that they want to be a successful deer hunter. We remove some of the impediments that might previously exist, so we've opened up some additional opportunities for hunters. Meaning
Like unlimited tags in certain spots?
There's bumping tags in certain places, certainly, and then we've lifted some restrictions. So in some places, we actually got rid of our traditional muzzleloader season and are looking at expanding opportunities and making basically a second firearm season. So if you don't own a muzzleloader and you've previously been excluded from that season, you can still go out and hunt with your firearm, your shotgun, your rifle, depending on where you're at.
So as you guys are crafting the management plan, as you combat CWD, what did you choose to use from other states? So let's say Wisconsin. Now some people think that was a fiasco, but there's probably some people that think that went well. What did you pick and kind of cherry pick from other states that you think worked well that you want to try to do here?
So what we realized is that if we bring forward recommendations without having a conversation first and understanding what the sentiment is behind CWD and deer management, there's no way that we're going to be successful. So we spent a lot of time in the early part of the year having conversations with different deer groups, with different conservation organizations, and others that are likely to be affected by CWD. And we had some really good conversations and what that meant and where the department should be going in terms of management of the disease and how that overall disease has the potential to impact deer. So when we brought things forward, we took a lot of those pieces that we learned from those conversations and tried to incorporate it. So we certainly had ideas going into those conversations on what we might want to do or what we might want to not do. And some of those conversations either validated some of those decisions or changed it, to be honest with you, because we can bring forward the best recommendation for either deer management or disease management, but if it's not supported by the hunting public, it's going to fail.
So do you feel like you've gotten support from QDMA or some of the different deer groups that are out there?
Well, with any regulation, as you know, there's always going to be opposition for anything we bring forward. And whether that's a regulation that was included that someone didn't want included or omitted that they wanted included, we're always going to face that. So we balance those discussions with what we best know about deer biology and disease management. And certainly some things that individuals wanted or groups wanted, we felt wasn't the right time to bring that forward because there's some uncertainty associated with it. Certainly we're having those discussions, and we hope that
this is kind of ongoing thing right now.
Absolutely,
right? It's not all
ongoing.
written in stone.
Yeah, no, the decisions still haven't been made yet, and when the final decisions are made by our Natural Resources Commission, we'll certainly post that information. It'll be updated in our Hunting and Trapping Digest, and it'll be on our website, which is mi.gov/CWD. But we're also viewing this as sort of an adaptive approach. We're not envisioning a one-year fix on this. So as we bring forward recommendations, we'll continue to monitor the success or failures of anything we bring forward and continue to adapt. And we feel that that's the best approach long-term for this disease.
Okay, so in layman's terms, we're basically extending some seasons, changing some of that, some more unlimited tags in certain areas. Other than that, kind of what are we trying to do this year?
Yeah, so really what it is if you've previously hunted in a CWD zone and were shut out on tags either on the private or public land side, that probably won't be the case anymore. We've upped our quotas. We're expanding some opportunities within season. We talked about the muzzleloader options, and certainly people can still hunt with a muzzleloader if that's something that they like to do, but they'll also be able to go out and use their shotgun or rifle depending on where they're at.
Okay.
We're also offering another sort of new license that's going to be discounted, and it's going to be expiring. So, you know, much as if, you know, a non-resident comes into Michigan and wants to hunt small game for just a couple days, you know, they don't pay the entire price for a small game license. If you want to go out and hunt antlerless deer for a small amount of time, like a month or so, that first part of October, you can purchase a discounted antlerless license, go out, and if you feel like you're going to be successful earlier in the year, there's a cost savings associated with that.
And if you shoot one in the core or in the extended area around that, which I'm sure there'll be maps, you know, to let people know where those are, do they have to get those deer checked? Would you like them to get how does that work?
Yeah, so again, things have changed quite a bit. We're looking at a 16-county CWD management zone. That's very different than the 5+ counties that we had last year. So we're still going to have check stations distributed throughout that 16-county area. We're also going to be having some sort of self-service kiosks available where hunters can come in, check their deer on their own, even after hours late, especially if they're done tracking. We're also going to be working really closely with a lot of processors and taxidermists. So what we've identified is that the traditional check station method, which we've previously had, works really well in small areas, but to cover a broad area is going to be really challenging. So we have to diversify our approaches a little bit, and we feel it's probably a little bit better to go to where the deer are going instead of having the deer come to us. So we're gonna change things a little bit and try to get our sampling. Right now there's no proposed mandatory check, but certainly we need those animals to be checked so we can have confidence in where the disease exists or doesn't exist. And we're gonna be providing maps and updating those goals throughout the hunting season so hunters know how close we are to achieving our sampling goals that we want and we've already identified.
So you have some figures in your head of we need to get whatever, 10,000 deer or whatever it is, and that's just, you're taking just the heads then basically?
Yeah, we're looking at testing about 15,000 deer out of 16 counties over the course of the hunting season. That's broken and distributed differently depending on the status of the disease and where you're at within each county, but we'll have county-wide goals specific for each county in the DMU. And then we're going to provide a lot of options for hunters to help support our surveillance efforts. And we'll provide all that information on our website and through our communication pieces as well.
So it's not accurate for me to say, well, the DNR just wants to wipe out all the deer in the CWD zone.
No, far from it. Okay. No, we realize deer are a valued resource in this state, and you know that's why we feel that CWD is really important. Is we don't want this disease to have an impact on our resource. So for us to go forward and have that same impact is counterproductive. So that being said, we want to be responsible in managing the disease, but still maintain that interest at the hunter level so they continue to hunt. And this is ultimately something I think that hunters can live with, but we have to be responsible with it and we have to change some things. Otherwise, we've seen some scenarios that have played out where it's been more, it's been on the landscape a lot longer, and we don't want those results to happen here in Michigan.
Make sure to tune in next week for part 2 of our interview with Chad Stewart.
Hey everybody, thank you so much for watching Michigan Out of Doors this week. If you missed part of this week's show or maybe last week's show, you've been traveling a lot lately, you can always check us out online at michiganoutofdoorstv.com. We have full episodes of the show there every week, and if you do the social media thing, we're on there as well. You can kind of follow us on a day-to-day basis and see what we're up to. And we have been out on the big water quite a bit of late. That'll be coming over the next couple of weeks. We're hitting the water tomorrow with Bob Garner. That's always fun. That'll be on in a few weeks. And it's hard to believe that in just about a month or so, the hunting season starts. It's just crazy here in the state of Michigan. There's always something going on, and there's always the next season. It seems like it's just right around the corner. And hopefully, if we don't see you in the woods or in the water, we'll see you right back here next week on your PBS station.
Michigan Out of Doors is presented by Greenstone Farm Credit Services, making recreational land ownership possible across Michigan and northeast Wisconsin. Begin your land financing journey at one of Greenstone's 37 locations or greenstonefcs.com. By the locally owned and operated members of the Michigan Petroleum Association and the National Oil Heat Research Alliance, who provide oil heat with bioheat, a renewable fuel source designed to benefit the home and the environment. Details on the web at useoilheatmichigan.com. By AnglerQuest Pontoons, a mid-Michigan company building boats for fishermen by fishermen. AnglerQuest pontoons are designed for comfort and functionality. On the web at anglerquestpontoons.com. By Huron Lady River Cruises in Port Huron, offering daily sightseeing trips and private cruises for all ages. Sightseers will experience the International Blue Water Bridge, Great Lakes Freighters, the Fort Gratiot Lighthouse, and more. Huron Lady River Cruises on the web at huronlady.com. Closed captioning provided by Marvo Mineral, makers of Lucky Buck, deer management products including minerals to supplement deer diets year-round to improve health and antler growth.
When I wander far away, a dream stays with me night and day. It's the road that leads to my home state. I am a Michigan man. Changing seasons paint the scene like rainbow trout in a hidden stream. The white-tailed deer in the tall pine trees. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love this land. I am a Michigan man. From the Keweenaw down to St. Joe, Kalamazoo, East to Monroe, to St. Marie and back again. I am a Michigan man. I am a Michigan man. Ask where I'm from and I'll show you my hands. Lord above, I love